Hey, trumpet player, have you ever sat down to run your scales and got to a spot that didn't go so well? So you went back to play it again, but you messed up in the same exact spot. And then you tried again and messed up in the same spot again. Same problem. You're stuck in a loop and you don't know how to get out of it. Nothing's getting better no matter how many times you repeat it. That's one of the most frustrating feelings in music, and I've seen it stop more comebacks than almost anything else. In this video, I'm going to reveal this to you right now so you don't waste another practice session. The reason it keeps breaking down in the same place is almost certainly because you're playing things faster than your body's currently able to process. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how comeback trumpet players should be practicing scales so that your fingers, your air, your tongue are actually working together again. So stay with me because one of these steps is going to feel like a mind twister, but it's also the step that changes everything. Before we get into this, I want to make sure you know about something I put together called the Return to Trumpet Blueprint. It's a free video training that walks you through the exact framework I use with every comeback trumpet player that I work with. Today's lesson plugs directly into one of the three pillars of that blueprint, and that's coordination. The link to access the training is in the description below, so grab it after this video. It's for you. Now, before I walk you through these steps, I need to establish something very important because this video is not what you thought it was. This is not a video about how to play your scales. You already know your scales, and if you don't, you can find out how to play scales or construct a scale in other YouTube videos. After all, you played scales in high school. You played them in college. The notes are the same everywhere you go. This is a video about how to practice scales in a way that gets your body back in shape for trumpet playing. Think of it like physical therapy after a long break. A physical therapist doesn't hand you a heavy weight on day one. They rebuild the movement patterns first, slowly, deliberately, and with intention. That's exactly what we're doing here. Inside my Return to Trumpet Blueprint, I talk about three things that every trumpet player has to coordinate. And simplified, it's the wind, tongue, and the fingers. When you were playing regularly, those three things were working together almost automatically. After a long break, that coordination has to be rebuilt. And scales, practiced the right way, are one of the best tools we have to do exactly that. So let's get into this lesson. So I have three steps to share with you right now. Step number one is to say the note names out loud while you finger them. Here's where we start. And notice, I haven't said anything about blowing yet. We're not there. We don't even have the trumpet in our hand yet. But before I give you the first step, I want to share something that sits at the foundation of what I teach. It's the first part of my 7 maxims of trumpet playing, and it says this: my body is the primary instrument. The trumpet is a wonderful piece of equipment, but it only does what your body tells it to do. The wind, the tongue, the fingers have to be trained before the horn can respond the way you want it to. Keep that in mind as we go through these steps because every single step is about training your body first. So, step one, pick up your trumpet, and I want you to finger through the chromatic scale without blowing a single note. Just finger through the scale while saying the note names out loud as you go. So we're going to start on C. Let me grab my horn real quick. So we're going to start on C, and then C sharp, and then D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. And so you want to do that. So that's it. Finger and speak. No blowing into the instrument yet. No need to form your embouchure, just your fingers and your voice. Now, here's why this works. There's something powerful about saying a thing out loud when you're trying to learn it. Think about meeting someone new. If you hear their name and you just nod, there's a good chance you're going to forget their name in a couple of minutes. But if you say their name out loud, great to meet you, Marcus. Nice to meet you, Joy. Then their name sticks with you. Your brain processes it differently when your mouth is involved. So the same thing happens here when practicing your scales. Saying the note names out loud while your fingers are moving, begins to wire the connection between your mind and your hands. Let me put my trumpet back over here. So you're not just running your fingers, you're building a mental map. And that mental map is what makes coordination possible later. Do this until it's easy. Don't rush the next step. Now, for some people, saying the note name while fingering is a bit of a challenge. If that's really challenging for you, then just break up the steps. Say the scale, say the note names in order, in time if you're able with the metronome. And then after that, finger it and get very comfortable with the fingering pattern and then put things together. Once you have that together, you can add step 2. All right, this is the mind twister that I warned you about earlier in the video. Once you're comfortable with step 1, we're going to add a layer. Now, I want you to say the note name, sing the pitch of that note, and finger it on the horn, all at the same time. So you have to get a pitch from a dependable source. I have my tuning app here, and I'm going to play C. And then you're just going to sing and say it while singing and finger. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. And that's how you do that. There are 3 things happening simultaneously. Your brain is going to push back at first, and that's normal. That resistance you feel, that's what you need to overcome. That's the coordination being built in real time. I've had some students who have definitely said this is awkward or felt that it was awkward. And in some ways it is. It's pretty awkward. But after a few minutes, a few days, a week of practicing like this, the body adapts. And it happens faster than you think when you give it the right kind of attention. So what's happening here is that you're beginning to build some type of coordination before you even blow into the instrument. You're getting your body in shape for trumpet playing. You're practicing, you're rehearsing coordination before the horn demands it. Step 3, bring the metronome into the equation. Before we play, you're going to want to do the same process in time with the metronome so that when you finally pick up the trumpet, there's one less thing to think about. And you want to get your body playing in time. So now it's time to play. The horn's on your face, the metronome is on, and I want you to set your metronome to 60 beats per minute. I know it might feel slow. It should. If that metronome marking isn't quite right, I recommend going slower and not faster. Here's what I want you to focus on. Every note lands on purpose with purpose. Your fingers move evenly and nothing is rushed. And here's a tip that will help you lock in. Accent the notes that fall on the click of the metronome. That accent gives your body a reference point and starts training rhythmic precision from the ground up. The goal of this step is repetition at a speed where mistakes are almost impossible to make. You're going to practice this scale so slowly and so consistently and so evenly that you're going to stop guessing what's next. And that's where your shift will begin to happen. One of the most common things I see with comeback players is that they jump into the tempo, the faster tempos, before their fingers are ready. This leads to playing sloppily, which leads to frustration, which leads to people giving up. So when I tell you to set your metronome at 60 BPM and slower, it's not a punishment. It's the foundation. I want to ask you something. Right now, when you sit down to practice your scales, what tempo are you starting at? Secondly, are you even using a metronome? Drop your answer in the comment section below. I genuinely want to know where you're starting at with this, and I read every comment. I want to tell you about a student who came to me with a very specific request. He said, Chris, I need help with my finger speed and my dexterity. My fingers just aren't moving the way they used to. And I understood exactly what he meant because I've heard that from a few people over the years. Now, here's what I did not do. I didn't hand him a book of scale patterns. I didn't tell him to practice faster. I walked him through the process that I'm sharing with you right now. That's all we did. And over the period of a few lessons, his fingers began to get faster. And then once the coordination came back, speed was next to follow. And that's how it always pans out. You got to go slow and then you go fast. A baby crawls and then a baby walks. And even before a baby crawls, he has to roll over, hold itself up. It's always a process. Here's what I want to leave you with. There is a gap between where you are today and where you want to be. And that gap is not as wide as you might think that it is. The players who get stuck in their comeback are stuck because they don't know the proper approach to help them reach their goals. They're trying to play at a speed that they used to be comfortable with before their body had been reconditioned to support it. Slow practice is not the enemy. Slow practice is the method. When your wind and your tongue and your fingers are coordinated, you're going to feel it. Things are going to start to feel aligned and easier to perform. And scales, practiced the way I just walked you through, are one of the most direct paths to building coordination. I want you to know you've got what it takes to make your comeback. You just need the right approach. And I just shared one of the concepts with you that's going to help you reach your goals. Now, if today's video resonated with you, and if you're serious about making a real comeback on the trumpet and you don't want to figure things out by yourself, I want to invite you to apply to work with me inside the Returning Trumpet Player Method. This is my coaching program, and it's built specifically for players like you, people who have the history with the trumpet, the love for the trumpet, and the drive and commitment to come back strong. The link to apply is in the description below. Take a look, see if it's the right fit for you, and if it is, I'd love to work with you. If you want to continue your education, click or tap on the video on the screen, and I'll be there to help you. God bless you.